sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I get up this morning at 5:30 in the morning, get in the car, drove all the way to Pennsylvania. I was here to go both trips with Spirit of Dio and the pacing filly Camco Lizzie. Hadn't seen Spirit of Dio since Indiana last year. Wanted to get a look at her. The timeline of what had went on with her this year was eerily similar to the timeline of last year, right? We had her ready to go, tried to qualify her, made some breaks. Now this year she jumped on her foot. You can see where there's going to be a little scar on her foot, but she's healed up nicely. I couldn't make it down here this week to go a slow mile with her, so I wanted to make sure I was here to go both trips with her this morning. Tim told me she was okay, a little rickety, but okay to go with, which was a little unsettling. So I got here early, went first trip with her, made some adjustments to her, just a couple little adjustments to her equipment, and then went with her man. Oh man, she didn't seem a whole lot different than last year. She does need some vet work done, just a little bit. I think left hock was a little buggy, right knee might be a little dry, if I was to guess. Tim was going to have the veterinarian go over her. Now, the one thing that I did do, I was a little mad at myself. You know, I wanted to go out and go a good mile with her because this is a filly that was supposed to be ready, but she was wide open down the backstretch and not pulling, just I was letting her trot. I knew I was at the half in 57 and she was going a big mile. By the time I got to the 3/4, I thought 52 in a piece, 53, which sounds insane, but that's how hard she was trotting. Fizzled out down the lane, but you know, as I got around the last turn, I could feel her start to empty a little bit, and I thought to myself, she made a break 3 weeks ago, jumped on her foot, so they've been rehabbing her foot. A couple of slow miles into her, went to go with her again and run all over the track. How tight is she? You know, this should have been something that went through my... I was so enamored with getting her equipment right and getting her hung up right and getting her perfect for today. Like an idiot, it just didn't cross my mind that maybe she's not as tight as you think she is. And even though she came 29-3, you know, this affiliate comes 27, 28, bow in her neck. She didn't want no more today. That was a big qualifier this morning, and it sets her back to where she is. But having said that, I said to Tim, scoped her, a little bit of mucus, no blood, A+ on the scope, or at least an A on the scope. Let's take her blood tomorrow, make sure she didn't tie up a little bit. If you ask horses to do a little more than maybe they're not physically ready at that time, you'll see that muscle count jump a little bit. So two things we want to keep a very close eye on, especially right now, with everything going on with our horses too, and we've seen this happen. Keep an eye on her muscle count, keep an eye on her liver count. Also, we've seen them jump here in North America, but not North America, because we've seen them jump in Australia also. So it seems to be some sort of weird thing going on. And this isn't an account that just comes down quickly. You'll see that White Tiger was not in this week. We schooled him. Now, this morning, his GGT is down at 120. Just to put that into perspective for you, 0 to 36 is the level on the blood. White Tiger's was 205 the last time he raced. That was exceedingly high. It's down to 120 today. I said, don't put him in to go again until we get him where he's comfortable. I'll talk about him in a minute. Spirit of Dio was extremely strong today. I might have asked for a little much, but she's always such a horse that's always leaning towards pleasing. She just worked her butt off this morning with a gigantic qualifier at the Meadows. 54-1. Very good. I'd like to give her 7 or 8 days now. I don't want to rush her into racing. Tim's like, we can get her in here, there. Let's give her a good 7, 8 days, make sure her blood's perfect, do the vet work on her, and then maybe give her another little tightener, and then have her in to go. I want to take a look at her calendar and see what's coming up also, and try and figure out what we're going to do there. But the good news is, Spirit of Dio is still Spirit of Dio. A big qualifier today at the Meadows. Saw some real cracks in her armor also, running in a bit, running out a bit. We've seen that before from her in the past. A little tired on the end of it. Speaks to maybe she's not quite ready to do what she just did this morning. That's on me. But she ate all her lunch. When I was leaving, I checked in on her. She had her head over the gate, eating all her lunch. She's back to being proud and on top of her game again. Maybe a couple of weeks from being Spirit of Dio in Indiana, but she's back to being Spirit of Dio. So good job by Tim. Very happy to see her do well this morning. Camco Lizzie, into her knee a little bit. This is a filly that, you know, here we are talking about horses that have to leave, and Camco Lizzie probably needs to leave. I mean, this is a filly that now we're getting into the summer. She's run out of classes. the pandemic really stole racing away from her in the fall and in the winter, where she could have done some good. I thought she raced pretty good at Woodbine her first 2 starts. Northfield, she struggled a bit. She's not really a half-mile track built filly, and to be quite frank, she really struggled at the Meadows this morning, getting into her knee a little bit. More than a little bit, I think. So a filly that probably needs to move along. And then White Tiger, as I said to you, his GGT was still quite high, 120 as of yesterday. Didn't really know what to do. Put him on the gate, put his nose right on the gate. He trotted out of there, got away in the 2-hole behind some horse of Brady Brown's, and I was just climbing over him the whole way, but comfortable. It's the first time I felt White Tiger comfortable since before we left Ontario. Very impressed with what I saw today. Sat quietly in the 2-hole, sat. There was a voice in my head around the last turn that said, don't even move. Just let him climb all over him. Pull him up, go back to the barn. Late in the stretch, I just moved him over, and he blitzed him. He just blew right by Brady, and I don't know who Brady had, but blew right by Brady and looked very, very good schooling today. So we'll put White Tiger in next week with a little asterisk beside him. Keep in mind, 205 3 weeks ago, 145 last week, 120 yesterday. Probably get him into double digits next week. Maybe down around 60 would be best we can do. And then we'll race him knowing that he's still not down below that 36-point threshold that the blood labs put on that liver count. So we're working on it, making gains, moving in the right direction, but above all, a great schooler from him today, a fantastic qualifier from Spirited Dio. Just a great morning. It made getting up at 5:30 in the morning worth it, I can tell you that. If I had blown over here and White Tiger run, it was no good, and Spirited Dio looked bad, and Can't Go Lizzie, oh my God, it would have been a bad afternoon. So I'm on my way back to Ohio. No racing today at the Meadows, just qualifying. On my way back to Northfield Park, we got our girl, Frilly Fringe is in tonight. Bit of a stiff maiden. One of the fillies in there, Income or something, whatever the hell its name is, beat I'm a Lovely Lady a couple of times last year. Decent filly. She's in the maiden tonight. I think Frilly's picked third choice. I expect her to be on the board again and race good. And then Compass Rose DC races just before her, I believe. And Compass Rose DC with a gigantic qualifier also at Northfield Park. She's in with a killer tonight. Horse got the outside win in 54 this year at Northfield Park already. So as much as I like our girl Compass, 54 might be beyond her reach just yet. So we'll see how she races tonight. But a good day, a good start to the week. Tomorrow we are droning in Ontario, 8:30 post time for the drone. Now a couple of scratches, one on either side of the border. The little pacing filly, the Better's Delight pacing filly, it's on the tip of my tongue. She had a big crowd, splint crowd this week. Actually, the same reason there's going to be a horse miss on this side of the border. Unbeatable Kemp had a splint crowd. He's out for tomorrow, so we're going with 20 here. And then we have Will to Win Hanover was out, obviously. Kathy with an eye. And little filly, Twinkle in Her Eye, is out tomorrow with a splint crowd. But she'll go to Mohawk and go a faster mile this week also. Just not really ready to go that extra mile in the middle of the week. So no concerns with Twinkle other than that. But she'll miss tomorrow. So in total, 44 horses going, 24 on the north side of the border and 20 on this side of the border tomorrow. On my way back to Ohio, as I said, tomorrow we got Where We Welcome. Because we are schooling behind the gate, I can't make it to the Meadows in time. Hunter Myers is going to drive Where We Welcome for us here. Wednesday evening, I am at Northfield Park. Jason and Travis they are going to Indiana, to Hoosier Park, to race That's My Girl, Fox Valley Britska, Italian Grit. And then Thursday, we have some racing, but Friday, I actually can't go to Philadelphia. They put Eglare AM in after my plane leaves. So I can't make the flight. And I know James really wanted to go drive them also. I was kind of being a little greedy because I was so excited about Eglare AM. But James gets along really good with Eglare AM and has been driving great in the States. He'll drive Won My Heart Hanover and Eglare AM Friday afternoon at Harrah's, Chester, Philadelphia. So that's what's up and coming this week. We got lots more on the go. But today, big news, Spirited Dio was great. White Tiger was great. Bigger news tomorrow, the drone out of Ontario at 8:30 in the morning. And video live from Northfield Park starting at 11 a.m. So that is it. You're all caught up on a Tuesday here in the United States of America. Heading back from Pennsylvania to Northfield. I hope you guys all had a great day because ours started off wonderfully.